They're rich, and they pee, but they're done. Welcome back to the Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Yes, and with that, we got a big star coming into the studio. A big star. A legend.
Robert Duvall.
How you doing?
Hi,
Good
sir.
morning, Robert Duvall.
There you go.
How are you, Robert?
Pleasure to see you. Nice to see you, sir.
What would you like me to say?
Right there.
Right over there.
Perfect. Perfecto. There it is. All set up for business.
Radio goes all over, everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, this goes everywhere.
It's worldwide, as they say.
We're up to worldwide now, yeah.
Yeah, we get calls from people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite form of press of doing, like radio or television, or you don't care?
What do you mean?
Because some guys don't like to do radio. Some guys don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I like it all, you know.
Yeah. Get out there. Oh, here you go.
Get out there and promote. Why not?
Yeah. Radio's great. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Kind of the beginning and the end of it all, really.
Really? Familiar with your work.
Yeah. Right. Everything comes in blocks.
Yeah.
Groups.
Yeah. As far as like parts that you've taken, so it's like country guy, mob movies, things like that.
Played Joseph Stalin.
Uh-huh.
Played a Cuban barber who danced the song with Richard Harris. So try to play the Texas Rangers, play different characters. Yeah, I like that.
How many movies do you make a year?
One or maybe one.
Do you think just one?
One every other year, maybe. This year was one came out that we did a year ago, but this is one of the best years I've had in my life. A Night in New Mexico is coming out now. And I did a big movie with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, right.
Called
Okay.
The Judge, and it's a beautiful movie. Well, he's great to work with, so it's been a great year for me.
Does a guy in your position ever get worried? Like we would think that Duvall, you can just do whatever you want. But
No, I can't. I'm trying to raise money. It's easier to raise $100 million with a big name than $4 or $5 million for a small film. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do a small film now. We finally got the money, barely.
Wow.
And barely, just bare bones.
Who doesn't give Robert Duvall money? I got some. You never asked me.
Right.
Be right in there.
It might not be enough for a low budget film. Yeah, maybe, But
what do you have to do? You have to actually just go to the investors and just pitch to them.
You go to different people. And Arnold Rifkin, who was the head of William Morris, he stepped up, and we got some money to do a movie with the Texas Rangers. Kind of an interesting story we want to do. And we have to film it in Utah for Texas, because can't film it in Texas, can't film it in New Mexico.
Why not?
The unions are this, to that, different. I'm a union guy, but sometimes there are restrictions. So we go to Utah, and hopefully, and we'll find parts of Utah that look like Texas.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be hard. There's a lot of open space.
It's a lot of open room, some prairies,
rivers,
some rocks,
canyons,
yeah,
mountains.
Yeah, if you're trying to shoot New York scenes in Utah, you probably have a problem.
Well, they do Toronto for New York. I don't know if it quite works.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can tell.
Kind of.
I think if you're from New York, you notice when they don't film in New York.
Exactly.
It was one of Kubrick's very few mistakes was using England as New York in Eyes Wide Shut. You could just kind of tell that the externals were not done in New York, because I think that he didn't want to shoot here for some reason.
Yeah, well, he like with Kubrick, he wanted to go to London to live, and with Stanley Kubrick, at what point in his flight from New York to London did he become cultured? You leave the country, whatever. You
never worked with him, did you?
Huh?
Did you work with him or no?
No, I never did. No.
Never got. Was that by your choice or it just never happened?
What?
Was that by your choice or it just never happened?
Never happened. Yeah, no, whatever. I work with some great people.
Oh my God, yeah.
Coppola,
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, Coppola.
I think the
Billy
reason
Bob Thornton recently, talented guy, Billy Bob.
Yeah. He's on Fargo now, that TV series.
Okay. Yeah.
Fargo.
He's good.
He's great. He's fantastic.
There's a little bit of caricature in it, yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
You were not in part 3 in The Godfather. Was it? The rumor was, well, he priced himself out of the market on purpose because he didn't want to do it. Was that you saying?
Yes, true. That's partially true. I said you can pay Pacino twice what you pay me, but not 3 and 4 times which was the case.
Wow.
He came to my house in Virginia. Coppola parked his limousine with a driver, came in, and I said, sit down, I'm going to cook you my mother's crab cake recipe. He always wanted it. So I wrote it down for him to take, the crab cake recipe. He forgot it. he kept calling. He was more concerned about that recipe than would I be in Godfather 3. Right.
You don't regret it?
Huh?
Do you regret not doing it?
No. The first two were, I think, probably better movies.
Yeah.
I think, Yeah.
I think
most would say that.
Yeah, he was great to work with, Coppola.
Yeah.
Most would
Because he
say
would
that.
turn it around and watch what you do. Some of the old-time directors, I worked with a director once, said, when I say action, tense up, goddammit. Can you imagine saying that to Joe Montana in the Super Bowl? Tense up.
Yeah,
You don't,
yeah.
It's not, you don't, it's, intensity is different from intensity.
Right. It doesn't seem like you're going to
So
get the
a guy
best.
like Coppola, he turned things around, or Altman and Billy Bob and other directors too. Try to see what you do.
Yeah.
Let it come from the subject.
They should have gave you the money for 3. They should have just gave you the money, Robert.
Well, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
It was a big hole in the film. It was a big
No,
piece missing.
I don't know about that, but they're just, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Is it hard to watch?
But let me say this though. I wrote him a letter recently. Coppola and Horton Foote, the great Texas playwright who wrote Tender Mercies and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Those two guys, without consciously doing it, were really gave me a lot of help when I started out my career. Those two guys really helped me,
Yeah.
get going.
Is that at what point in your career was that big boost, that push? Was it the big films?
Sporadic.
Yeah.
You're now there, and then you have periods where you don't work. And I suppose when we did Godfather 1, that was like, I knew it was going to be we knew it was going to be a big hit.
Big movie,
and I had a feeling I was more of a late bloomer, and I would do more work maybe a few years after those other guys had their
Right.
So
There's a great photo of you that's just been circulated on Twitter recently, where Brando's doing lines.
the line, yeah. Somebody showed
on
me
your
that.
chest.
Yeah. Right.
And did he do that for the whole film, where he
He
didn't
did
learn
that
them?
since the chase. He did that, everything. Then he had an earphone and everything, But,
Oh, my God.
But we'd get rid of the lines, and then they have to yell, "Cut!" He wouldn't know what to do. Or when Luca Brasi said, "May you have a beautiful son," we put a fuck you on the tongue. Brando, he loved it, and he loved Jimmy Kahn.
Oh, did he?
Because Jimmy's so funny.
Yeah.
Jimmy would tell Brando a joke, and Brando have to count 3 before he get it. Then he go.
Yeah,
But
James Caan was
Godfather
in
1,
here. Yeah.
Godfather 2 wasn't as much fun because Jimmy wasn't on it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he came for
sure.
1 day or so. Yeah.
Yeah, for some kind of
But Brando loved it.
flashback.
Flashback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Brando wasn't in part 2. He said no to the flashback
Yeah,
scene, right?
Brando wasn't either.
Yeah, that was the one really De Niro was in a lot of the
De Niro was
earlier.
wonderful in that.
Yeah. God, I saw. I guess it was an old Twilight Zone with you in it.
Oh,
Was that-
called Miniature?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That was in litigation for 20 years. They couldn't show it. Then they brought it back.
You know what? Why was it in litigation? Because when I saw it, I'm
I
like,
don't know. It was something.
Yeah?
Something happened. I don't know.
sometimes you see a Twilight Zone and you're like, how in all these years that I've been watching this show did I not see this one? And that was one of them. I was like, what the hell
Yeah.
is
I know.
this?
For a long, there was a big hole in the thing with that
I
one.
wonder if there was
Wow.
music in it or something they couldn't get the rights to. Was there any music?
Maybe.
Sometimes
Could
it's-
be.
Well, then
Yeah.
you could switch
It
it
was
out,
really
no?
good, though, man. Wow, what an odd character
Very
you
odd.
were in
What
that
was that one? What was that one
Wow.
about?
Oh, he had some mother issues and some relationship
and
issues.
That beautiful actress was a model. She married Sidney Pollack.
Really?
And lived a long life, and Sidney passed
Oh,
away.
wow, yeah.
Claire, yeah.
Yeah, that was. You started off in the what? Did you do any of the Playhouse?
The neighborhood playhouse.
Yeah, neighborhood Playhouse.
And one night we did a play that was a nice part that I liked. I kind of connected with it. And Kim Stanley, Bob Mulligan, Horton Foote, and his wife came, and they saw me. And 3 years after that, when they were going to cast Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird, Horton Foote's wife said, "What about that young man we saw in that play?"
Jeez.
So that kind of helped me.
It's amazing how, even a couple of years later.
You got people help each other. The group, young actors. I say, what should you do? They say, what should I get with groups? I say, you have to be with groups. Operate out of something other than.
And then someone gets a project, they remember you, and there you go.
You've had because it's hard to imagine. But you had a 10-year career, like a legit career before The Godfather. That wasn't the beginning for you.
No, I did with Phil Kaufman. I played Jesse James in the Great Northfield, Minnesota Raid. I had quite a few films before, yeah. And then The Godfather was. Somebody told me on the Howard Stern show that the guy that the studio wanted with some big names for the part of Tom Hagen. Paul Newman, 3 or 4 big names. And I guess Coppola wanted me, thank goodness. You know?
Yeah, huh?
Why did you turn down Brody in Jaws?
Pardon?
Why did you turn down the part of Brody?
I don't know. I wanted to play the Portuguese fisherman. I like to do character part, but I was too young.
Really?
So I let it
young?
slip, you know.
Wait, which one was the Portuguese fisherman in Jaws?
Robert Shaw.
Shaw's
Yeah,
part. Okay.
I wanted to go up to New England and hang around the Portuguese, but I had a nice meeting with Steven Spielberg. He said, "Well, you're too young."
Too young.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And by then, was the Brody role given away? By the time he said no to the other one, was it too late to get Brody back?
No, I don't know what you get obstinate about certain things. Maybe I should have thought of it, but I like to do character parts more.
Yeah, because then, like after that, Apocalypse Now came up, and that's what a memorable character that is.
Well, I told Coppola, because it was written for a bigger guy, I said, I just said it once, I'd really like to do this. And when I got out there, they had it written, John Milius had written the initial draft.
Yeah.
But I found out from the guys that had been in Vietnam, the Air Cavalry, Fort Hood is the place where they have a museum for that. They wore cavalry hats, spurs, like the horse cavalry and the tanks. So actually all the people should have worn those hats. But that was my research, said wear a cavalry hat with the cross sabers to make it more authentic, because those guys were like that. So
yeah.
It's a nice character to kind of create.
How much of that was your input, and how much was the writer and director?
Both. I mean, the physical thing was my research.
Right.
But, and then Coppola, the initial name in the first script was Colonel Carnage. So it was a little too much.
A little too over the top.
They made it to Kilgore.
Kilgore, yeah.
And then I saved a baby's life that one of the Vietnam guys told me about. I maybe killed his parents right before, then I saved the baby. So they cut that out of the first one. So what are you doing? And in the Reduct, where they re-edited it,
right?
They put that back in.
That's back in on the. I didn't see that
where
one.
I save a baby's life.
There is a similar feel to where you give the canteen to the guy that's holding his own guts in, because you know damn well you or your men were responsible for pouring his guts out. But then you give him the water, and
absolutely.
So it's kind of a similar thing. Like you said, you kill the baby's parents, but you probably
My favorite part of that, by the way, when you're giving it, is the way that all of a sudden you lose interest when Lance shows up and you stand up and you dribble water on him.
Yeah, right. Surfing, right?
Yeah, boy, do you lose? You just, and the water just is dripping on the guy.
Yeah, those things just kind of happen. Yeah.
Did you shoot any with Harvey Keitel? He was the original.
Harvey was there for a while. Then something happened. Whatever, they parted ways, I guess, and then they brought in Marty Sheen. They talked to different people: Steve McQueen, Jimmy Kahn. I think Jimmy didn't want to be in the Philippines. I know he's the one guy I keep in touch with still, G.
Yeah, we had him on the show a few months back. He's
funny.
hilarious.
Funny guy.
Great guy.
Oh, he's just a special guy. Very, very talented.
It's amazing the roles that people almost take, like when you what you almost took as Brody. Was there anything that you did that somebody else was supposed to or slated to do that you turned into what you like? Was somebody else supposed to play that part in Apocalypse or in The Godfather?
Could be. I mean, Terry Gilliam wanted me to come to Europe and play Don Quixote in a movie. And they're re-talking about it. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but that would have been something that got away that I would like to have done.
Yeah.
I got a few more left before they wipe the drool, right?
Jesus.
The film is good. It's called A Night in Old Mexico.
Night in Old Mexico. It took 30 years to get it off the ground and 23 days to shoot it.
Oh, wow.
The same guy that wrote my favorite part, the Texas Ranger movie. What is it?
It's not Tender Mercy. It's not Lonesome Dove.
I know. I keep getting Tender Mercy stuck in my head now.
The thing I did with Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. I can't even think of it. That was my favorite part.
I'm waiting for somebody to...
Some fan will pop it up.
Some fan will pop it up.
Yeah. And same guy that wrote that wrote this, Bill Whitliff, an original script. And it took us many, many years to get off the ground.
What was people's reasoning? Like, do they say, like, here's why we don't want to do it?
Well, you know, he kept putting it off the writer. Dennis Hopper was going to direct it at one point, then another guy, then a French guy, and then a Spanish guy came in. Lonesome Dove is what he wrote originally. And then he wrote, this was an original script. Bill Whitliff from Texas, wonderful writer. I mean, lines like, it really happened to him, a guy crossing a bridge, give me $1 and watch me cut myself, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Those things happen.
I mean, what did you say to him? You handed him a $5 and said, fucking cut your wrist. So you said something like,
go cut your throat.
Go cut your throat. Yeah. It was a really great line.
Yeah, and the guy said, what do you, I said, I gave him $5. How much did you give him, you know?
Yeah, it was a very funny line, yeah.
So, you know, Whitliff was with that for, and the girl, Angie Peseta from Colombia, played the lead. She's for the first American film. Very interesting actress from Bogota and from Madrid. Her mother used to be a prosecuting attorney against the drug people.
Oh, wow. That's
her mother,
a tough gig.
They'd have to put a curtain in front of her for protection, you know. But she's very talented, and she does a very good job in this movie, Night in New Mexico, I think.
Do you go in and rewrite stuff for your, like, because I know, like, John Milius has written some of the most amazing, like, monologues for people.
Yes.
And some people, some guys only want him writing their monologues. Will you go in and actually go like, I don't want to say that, or will you just kind of do what they ask you
No, it
to?
depends. You know. I mean, that's pretty nervy sometimes. Sometimes you want things change, and I believe in improvisation. But if a script is well written, you don't necessarily need to improvise. The thing what I did with Robert Downey Jr. just this year, it was beautifully written script, so you don't need to change things. But like in A Night in New Mexico, at the end, I said, my life has turned around. I find this, I find a new love, and I found me a grandson. That line was improvised. And Whitler said, I wish I'd have, and he doesn't like you to change his lines, but he said, I wish I'd have thought of that line. Because it gave me something emotional, you know.
Yeah.
So some things happen at the moment where you just do it, but you can talk with somebody, but to change it yourself, you got to be careful, you know. Some people do that. But it's pretty nervy sometimes.
Oh, Colin Quinn tried to change the entire script of Crocodile Dundee 2.
Do you know who Colin Quinn is?
Of course not.
Colin Quinn?
Who is that?
Exactly. If you understand the joy you just gave me. He's a friend of mine. He's a clerk. He worked in comedy for a while.
Clerk.
And he's married to a woman named Diana Urbani. And he was in Crocodile Dundee 2, and he came back and he rewrote the second half of the movie. And he gave it to
Australia?
No, he's an American, but they were doing it, and he had a very small part.
Yeah, a very small part.
And he actually rewrote the second half of the movie and handed it to the director, making himself a bigger part of the movie.
Saying here, I think
Did they take it?
No, they certainly didn't. No.
What a ballsy move.
I never heard of him either. So. At least he tried.
Like
At least he tried.
He tried.
He sure did try.
Absolutely.
And you said that you would, because you talked to Spielberg, you guys obviously know each other, and you said, I guess in 2002, that you wouldn't work for him because he had visited Cuba, or was that overblown, or did you actually
say? It was a little bit overblown. They deleted what he said, and then Charlie Rose wouldn't delete what I said. So I was kind of hung out to dry.
What had he said that should have been included?
Well, that he said he never said those things, that he spent the best 8 hours of his life with Castro. Maybe he didn't ever say it, but I said, people say that. Why would they say that? Because Castro's no great guy in certain areas. Quarantines gays and everything, you know. So then I got in trouble for that, you know.
Have your politics been difficult? Because Hollywood's fairly one-sided. Has not being like towing the company
liberal
line.
trick. You could say it, Jimmy.
Well, I don't know. You know, it's like has it not towing that company line kind of given you any problems?
What about you?
I'm in the middle, kind of.
Yeah, I'm more in the middle. People think like my wife's from Argentina. She switched her positions. She used to be culturally conservative and open more on the other side with money, but now she's more conservative, more open. She calls herself a tree-hugging Republican.
Oh, wow, that's
and she thinks that, you know, terrible things, it's true, happened historically to the black people and everything. So I don't know. I know most of the conservative women I know believe in pro-choice. But you never heard that stated publicly.
No.
So, you know, I mean, there's overlaps of contradictions.
Well, it's easier for people to just classify people by one thing. If you say you're a Republican or you're a conservative, they think you're every bit of a conservative, where you're pro-life and this and that. But I consider myself pretty conservative and Republican. But there are some things that, believe me, I'm trying to fight the good fight every day.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's tiring.
Well, like my friends that I have on the board of sheriffs, the one guy, he ran 2 FBI guys out of his county, so you don't have any jurisdiction. I mean, and you can't.
Right.
Okay, a lot of those sheriffs you can buy off. The Texas Rangers you can't buy off.
No.
CIA, FBI, there's some stuff going on that shouldn't
There's
go
a little
on.
leeway there.
Now, this same sheriff, I said, how do you guys vote down here? He said, we vote Democrat, but in our hearts we're Republicans.
Wow.
So that's the old kind of Democrats, conservative.
Right.
Zapata County, my friend was Zika Gonzalez. He was in the sheriff of Zapata County with that big lake where that guy disappeared on the water ski.
Yeah.
Well, I said, and there's no Republican headquarters in Zapata County. But some of those people are a bit conservative, even though they are Democrats,
Yeah.
So there's an overlap.
It's
the extremes I'm not so crazy about.
Right.
Did they ever get the guys that killed that? There was a guy and his wife on a...
Well, Ziggy claims that the drug people got him and killed him, but some of my Ranger friends say that may not be true, so they don't have a definitive answer.
Yeah,
they claim she wasn't in on it. I don't know. Maybe not the wife.
Yeah, they had apparently jet ski even crossed right into Mexico's territory. It was like a really well-known drug spot.
Right.
Like A Night in Old Mexico. I love this movie, and we did it in Brownsville, the most corrupt town in Texas. Now, these ladies, lovely ladies, sent us some cabrito, some goat from the restaurant from the other side, because you could touch the wall. And we thank you so much. Oh, come over to our restaurant. I'm not crossing that border.
I ain't going
No
over.
way. And the sheriffs say, don't do it.
Wow, yeah.
And because of that, there's some of the deputies, and one of the top sheriffs just recently where we worked, they arrested forever because they, sometimes blood is thicker than truth or anything, because back and forth the border, they're half Mexican, this and that,
Sure.
So it's a dodgy place. But the guys I know are pretty that are half Mexican, that are sheriffs. They don't want that illegal. They don't want the illegals. They want it done right.
Right.
Listen to this true story. About 8 times, about all those border sheriffs went to Washington. George Bush W. wouldn't meet with them one time.
Why is that?
Well, he said because he's an asshole. That's what they said. I mean, and Bush did some good things. AIDS Africa did some good things. But, I don't know why that is. They sent money to the other side, but they wouldn't reinforce these sheriffs with their problems with the drug people coming across.
It just does. It seems like the border protection on our southern border just doesn't get the financial backing, the backing of the government. It doesn't seem like the administration
exactly
want to.
Well, if you boil it down, the Republicans want the workforce, the Democrats want the vote.
Right.
Of those illegals coming in.
Yeah.
And that overlaps too.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a pretty complex situation.
Dodgy situation. What
Very
about?
complex.
I got to ask, of course. What Second Amendment? You a Second Amendment guy?
In what way?
That we do have the right to bear arms.
Absolutely. I don't have a gun in my. I do have a $45,000 pistol that the Rangers gave me.
Wow.
And my friend General Bill Keyes, the head of Colt, gave me 2 beautiful pistols with Lonesome Dove pictures of my movies in there. But other than that, as trophies, we don't have guns. Not that I'm against them, believe me.
Right.
I believe you should. I just don't want guns around because I'm not an expert with it. Although I believe in people should have guns.
Yeah, I just feel that every time something happens, that the more legislation is put on the legal gun owners that aren't the problem. And then they throw, laws in there that don't really do anything for the gang violence and everything.
Well, the same sheriff, Arvin West in Husband County, he tells every people on the border, he's right on the border, to arm themselves in his county in Texas.
Why wouldn't you?
Because they're coming across.
Did you not want to go across, too? Because a lot of people, Mexico scares me. And is that why we were afraid of kidnapping?
At the border. My friends that just recently competed in the World Championship live pigeon shoot in Guadalajara. That's pretty safe. But along the border, it's like what used to be in Colombia. It's moved up. Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Right on the border is more dangerous than if you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one guy who traveled around. It was one of the most dangerous parts in the whole world. That border.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And again, just no resources given there.
Yeah. They say certain parts of Texas are really, like for 20 miles from the border and about 20 miles in are quite dangerous.
War zone.
Of course, you could private property. You can do like. and then Arizona's another thing. And yeah, it's a tough thing.
Yeah.
So one of the sheriffs said we're tired of being the first line of defense for the people in the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
So,
and then they call the guys who want to stop it because there is a lot of crime. They call them racist for wanting to stand there and kind of keep people from illegally coming in and possibly causing a problem.
You know what was called the most racist city in America at one time?
What?
Boston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the South. It's not.
Yeah, well, it's all,
and you see what happened now at the Beverly Hills Hotel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so once it comes to Hollywood, you're scratching at your door. Oh, now we'll change our view of what these radical guys are like.
It really is astounding how out of touch a lot of the people in Hollywood can be when it comes to issues like that. And it is amazing that they even did anything about the Beverly Hills Hotel and stopped going.
Well, they
there.
had to.
They had to. Then it was so in everyone's face.
It's like here in I had a lot of liberal friends in New York that were voted for Giuliani, but for president, no, they said. But for at your own back door, when he kept the city safe,
right? Yeah.
Which some people don't even want to admit, but I think he did.
No, I remember New York pre-Giuliani and post-Giuliani, and night and day. It was really crazy driving in, and the squeegee guys, and just the quality of life issues, bringing money into the city, making it a place for tourism, and then. You get de Blasio in, and he's talking about we need to change New York for the better. It's like, what do you want to change to what?
Change it to what?
Yeah, change it to what?
Back the way it was in the 70s
Back
or
the way
the
it
80s.
was. It was a crazy place back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giuliani did an amazing job. The whole get rid of the hookers thing.
A lot of people don't like him. But yeah, I asked Pete Hamill that one time. I had read that a lot of liberals in the beginning, maybe not the mainstream Democrat, but some of the liberals were at the beginning were for Giuliani.
Yeah.
Once again, to keep the home turf safe, but not for the presidency,
He had that reputation of being a hard prize because he went after the mob in the Fulton Street Fish Market. Like, he had a pretty good reputation in New York of being a guy who dealt with crime properly.
And the hypocrisy of, obviously George Bush took a lot of crap from the left, and then you get Obama in there, and he talks about this transparent administration, and all we've seen is scandal and cover-up and no answers to things like Benghazi.
Well, the Benghazi thing, there should be answers.
I mean,
there should be answers.
And then they talk about it like it's a joke. Like if you bring it up like you want answers, it's like, oh, you're politicizing the whole thing. No, we want answers.
And I'm sure there's some Democrats that agree with wanting to find out what the truth was.
Yeah, but they
can't say too much.
I know it all becomes politicized, and no one gets any answers anymore about anything.
And how does Nancy Pelosi not have to vote on that?
Oh,
how are you allowed to not
the guy
vote?
Henry, what's his name? Reed? What the guy?
Harry Reid.
Harry Reid. Oh my God!
You like him or don't like him?
It's tiring.
It's
exhausting.
The way he went after that guy, but that guy went too far. That guy Bundy out there. Too racial.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there are other ranchers out there that might disagree with him.
That was a big issue, and if you look at how the government deals with things like that. You want to discredit someone like that so he doesn't get the support, because he was getting a lot of support when militia guys started showing up, and
then he began to feel that he could say anything.
Right,
Maybe he said the wrong things,
and then all the support goes away.
It's like the guy with the basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
Sterling.
Wow, that guy's out of his mind.
Yeah.
And then, well, at least he's on the news now trying to help and talk about his case, and it's making things 20 times worse.
What about when Dinkins ran here? Didn't Al Sharpton go after him?
Al Sharpton, I thought he was on Team Dinkins.
I'm sure he was on Team Dinkins, but he probably went after him, too.
Oh, yes, he did. He was dropping like N-bombs on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. That's another thing. How Reverend Al is on TV as a legitimate host on a news program when years ago he was just race baiting kook.
I know
that there, and now
didn't he kind of oust his friend Jesse Jackson by reaffirming that story that wasn't true, that he held the bloody dying Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I guess Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson have always been at odds with each other because I guess they want the #1 position of being black leader.
Yeah.
And
ambulance chaser. Yeah.
Ambulance chaser. That's what it is. But now
they're smart guys, though. They're not dumb guys.
No, they can't. They both have the presidency ear now.
He's a smart guy.
This is after, this is after years ago.
But I remember when on the Robert Downey show, the guy picked him up and slammed him on the deck.
That was Roy Ennis.
Martin Downey. Yes.
Roy Ennis.
Great clip.
On the Howard Stern show, I was there at Reverend Al when he helped me judge the lesbian beauty contest. Al was like lost,
Did he do it?
I don't know. I got
my God,
he was very uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah, no shit.
Downey, what a character.
Yeah, he was crazy.
He ruled. He was fun.
Yeah.
That guy was fun.
But let's come on. The
we got to get the big plug.
Movie.
It's called A Night in Old Mexico, and it's extremely well acted.
Yeah,
and,
sweet, small. They call it a yarn. A yarn being a tale.
Right, spinning a yarn.
Fictitious tale, and nice beginning, middle, and an end. Not a lot of violence, but it's a nice story that Bill Whitliff wrote, and we brought in. There was a French director that came over, and he wanted to direct it, and we took him to Texas, and my friend drives around Texas in his Bentley. He's an oil guy. Sit down here, Frenchie. And as a French guy sat into the chair, he threw a pistol under his seat. He sat on the pistol. Oh, then he is a gangster. He said. So he disappeared. And then Emilio Aragon, he's quite a prominent figure in Spain, had the money, loved the story, put up the money, the expertise, and came over and directed it.
Wow.
From Spain. So usually you film things like that in New Mexico, better rebate, but they were able to do it in Brownsville. That's where that Marine was held for 4 months. Remember, right across.
Yes,
that's why I wouldn't go across the border.
Right?
Why was the Marine held there?
Remember the guy?
It was a weapons charge.
Yeah,
and they had held him there with nothing, with no charge, no trial.
That was Brownwood, right in there, Brownsville.
Yeah.
But I loved it down in the Rio Grande Valley, and there was a wonderful Mexican restaurant, some of the best beef ribs I've ever had, Argentina or anywhere. But they had to move from Mexico over because they were so. They tried to get youth gangs would come and try to extort money from us, so they moved the restaurant over to the American side.
And kidnapping is a big issue there. If they know you're wealthy and prominent citizen of the United States.
There's some wonderful Mexican people, and I like, but that border is very touchy.
Well, it's such a corrupt government, and the military, anyone can be bought off down there.
But where does that dope go? Up Hollywood's nose, up Chicago, New York, here, So there's a two-way thing,
Right, yeah.
When Giuliani went to Mexico, he didn't trust the police. He brought his own security.
Did he?
Sure.
Yeah.
I told Giuliani when I met him, I said, you keep New York, I'll take Buenos Aires. I love Buenos Aires. My wife's from Argentina.
Yeah.
I love Buenos Aires, but you got to be careful doing business there. We took 100 pesos out of a money machine. 10 of the pesos were fake.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Money machine.
Who's loading those up?
I don't know.
Is it supposed to be the banks?
Yeah, and there's a guy, a wonderful actor that left there because the bank took his money, so he moved to Spain from Argentina. So it's easier for us to send money for people to work for us to El Salvador than to send money to Argentina.
How much is a peso in U.S.?
That I forget now. It varies. Yeah.
Is 100 pesos a lot?
Well,
I don't know the exchange rate.
I don't know the exchange.
I have no idea.
But
probably.
I love that city. It's a walking city. I really like that city a lot.
Yeah. You get recognized overseas a lot?
Ídolo, idol, ídolo, amigo, ídolo. Yeah, it's nice. But they have. I've worked there in films. I did that when I played Adolf Eichmann. We did it there. A good cruise. They serve you with great, great dignity, and the way they great into effect down there. The food and then when in reality when they took Eichmann back he got killed in Israel.
Yeah.
This Eichmann got a wonderful young bride from Argentina. But I love that city. But,
is that when you met your wife?
Yeah, I did.
When you were doing the Eichmann movie?
Yeah, Eichmann. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And but she loves America. She's a citizen.
Yeah,
because it's difficult to do business. We had a hotel. Very difficult to do business in Argentina. And for her now, Virginia is the last station before heaven. We live in Virginia. She loves Virginia.
Loves
America. Loves America.
Yeah.
You live in Virginia?
Yeah, we do.
Dude, why'd you choose there?
Well, I had lived there. My dad had lived there. My brother had lived there, and I just kind of. And I had an apartment that I should have never sold. It belonged to Caruso, my apartment. And I could have I sold it for a profit. But now you make millions
No shit,
on apartments in New York, I hear.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, the prices are
It's
crazy. Yeah.
But, so I don't get to New York. We take the train up. 3 hours, you're here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Robert Duvall on a train.
Yeah, I know.
I love the train. I love the train.
Yeah.
I would think it's private planes everywhere. And helicopters.
No. I don't like those small planes. No.
No, huh?
No.
Robert, I got to ask, how are you staying healthy? You look great.
I'm 200 pounds. That's way too much.
You're not 200 pounds.
You don't look 200 pounds.
No, I am. It's too much.
You look great.
I got to get it down 10, but I try to keep in shape.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Hang out with young people, younger wife. I try.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Try to think young.
Right.
How tall are you? You don't 200 pounds. You don't look 200 pounds at all.
Right there.
right there.
Right there.
Yeah. What do you weigh?
I'm like, 180? Something like that.
Yeah, I wish I could get down there, man.
Well, if you want to know, I was at one point 175, but I've gotten down to 150.
I was over there with Howard Stern before. He got too skinny. Look at that guy.
Is he all skinny now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see that face. Yeah, he's very thin these days.
Yeah, interesting guy, good guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the TV. When you're on TV, you want to look a little thinner. Why am I explaining that to Robert Duvall?
Yeah, but his is a radio show, isn't it?
Yeah, but he does TV too.
Yeah, he does the.
I don't know if the TV's happening these days.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, what the?
But they listen to him on the radio too. He got 20 million.
Yeah.
Sharp guy, very sharp.
Long career.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I like him.
And I just explained to Robert Duvall that the camera adds 10 pounds.
Yeah,
I am a true
Yeah,
ass.
maybe that'll add even 10 more, right?
I am a fool.
Yeah.
So the movie comes out. It's in theaters. And on iTunes this Friday. That's smart to
On
release
demand too.
On demand. And this Friday, May 16th, it's pretty much out everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're home and you don't feel like leaving the house, or if you're lazy,
You do that. It's amazing in modern day, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
do you like that, or does that make it harder for you guys?
No,
to make
I
the
like
money?
it because I can hear it better. Go to the theater, the mix is not good, the sound, so I like it.
That's
especially at the end of the year when they come in, they send them out to Academy. And I like to watch.
We get those now too.
Yeah,
They're nice.
Watch all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
watching
love
at
that.
home.
That's a nice perk.
Oh,
for
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yes.
Wait, I like. I just got to play this. Hold on.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball Goombas come out of the woodwork.
Right.
What a great scene that was with Waltz.
Oh, Walt, in his house, right? Yeah, right.
One of the greatest
horse.
transformations of a character is when Waltz finally realizes you're with Don Corleone, and you sit down to dinner, and he's like, I'm sorry, Tom, you should have said who you were with. And he gets so pissed as he's going along that by the end he's just, now you get the hell out of here.
Right.
But the dinner started kind of nice.
Yeah, kind of nice, kind of civil, yeah.
Yeah, and then and you didn't say a word. It was all him just working himself into a frenzy and then throwing you out.
And then he finds a horse's head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take care of business.
Wow, yeah.
What was before we close? Can I just ask you, what's John Cazale like? Because
Nice guy, good actor, nice guy. Yeah, it's been so long. I didn't know him that well, but he's a very open guy to be with. Very friendly, yeah.
Because didn't he only do like 5 or 6 movies? Like he had a very short.
They were all
really
good.
I think he used to date
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, Meryl Streep. Yeah, he was in The Deer Hunter and
Deer Hunter, and,
which was great.
Yeah, right.
The Conversation, both Godfathers, Dog
He
Day
was,
Afternoon.
I was in I had a small part in the conversation.
Right.
He was in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
too, Coppola. Yeah.
You're great in Network. I just want to tell Robert Duvall movies he was great in. And I love your arms, by the way. You have very big arms. Like you know how to make a
gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in some lemons. They said, what, A Nightmare in the Sun or something. Oh, my God. I can't even remember how bad that was. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you know it was bad while you were making it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Definitely.
It's got to be hard to commit to a role when you know it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's some lemons. We all do lemons. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think your average is pretty good, though. I mean,
Well,
Jesus.
I'm kind of a late bloomer, and I think, I got a few left, and as I got older, I get more comfortable. And
Yeah.
I think I
like
do
when you
better work.
When you just pop up in things like Sling Blade was great.
Yeah,
when
Billy Bob's great to work with.
Comes up
You
and
should have him in, Billy Bob.
I would love to. Yeah,
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
Billy Bob, he says, now when we work, he says, rehearsals for pussies, only 2 takes.
Two takes?
Yeah, some of these people beat 100 take, whatever.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was...
great to work with Billy.
Two takes. That's a lot of pressure.
Very gifted.
Yeah.
He's in the movie too with the Robert Downey. I mean, he plays the prosecuting attorney against me, and Downey plays the guy that's defending me. I'm the judge. It's called The Judge. Very smart, smart script.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting the wrap up.
But A Night in Old Mexico, I love this movie. It's a small movie, and I just love it.
Yeah, it's extremely well acted. And this Friday, again, on iTunes, on demand, or go see it in the theater if that's what you prefer. But I highly recommend it.
Great. Robert Duvall, amazing.
The Opie and Anthony. Who's Opie and who's Anthony?
That's the Opie, Anthony,
Jim
and
Norton.
Jim Norton. Is,
Italian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of good Italian restaurants in New York.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There's some good ones in L.A. too.
Yeah, I haven't. Every time I go out to L.A., it's like I'm pulling a heist. I get there and I gotta leave right away. I never really stay.
Giorgio Baldi at the beach, better than a lot of the restaurants in Milan.
Really?
Oh, excellent food.
That's a bold statement.
Excellent.
He cooks good Italian food, though.
No, I don't.
There's some bad restaurants in Italy.
Really?
They're not all great.
Imagine you go there and you
How's that possible?
blow it by going to a crappy restaurant.
how do they-
I like
pasta.
Carmine's here. I like Carmine's.
Carmine's is nice.
Yeah.
Nice dishes.
Carmine's is nice. I like that place.
I like that place. There's there's a pull chain toilet.
Yes.
We could
Louis
put
in the Bronx.
Louis in the Bronx. We could put the gun behind the toilet.
Right. You know Don Pepe in Queens?
Don Pepe.
Good food.
No.
Yeah.
know that
Kind of like
place.
Rayos.
We're trying,
Who
sir.
was the Teflon Don? Who was the Teflon Don?
That was John Gotti.
yeah.
Gotti's
John
place where
Gotti.
they ran numbers. When he went to jail, they opened the restaurant.
Right.
Very good food. Very good.
We got to get you out of here.
Rude but good food.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Duvall,
having me.
this was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Great ride,
Thank you.
Duvall.
Great.
O&A will be right back on Sirius XM. You could change the channel, but it would be a horrible regret.